Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined here this week by the box of skeleton bits himself. It's Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
Skeleton warriors. I am a lost sucking cause.
You're a what?
Lost cause.
Did you say you're a lost cause, or you're sucking a something else?
I think you're hearing what you want to hear.
I don't think I am hearing what I want to hear. I think I'm hearing things, though. Horrible, nightmarish things.
Horrible things.
Horrible. How are you doing, though, Mikey? It's another week? Hello.
It is. I have coffee.
Oh, my God. Coffee desk.
Coffee desk. Oh, no, don't say that, because I caught up on all the hologram stuff during the week. The hologram shorts, which includes one of Roboco breaking the null misunderstanding, coming in with a mace and like, what's that? And she goes, "Mace this!" And it's like, why you got a mace? I like breaking machines.
Obviously.
Yeah, I like those. Those are bizarre, but they appear to my particular brand of lunacy.
Yeah, I haven't watched a huge amount of them. I have seen a few now and again, and they're interesting enough.
Basically, you
odd.
can kind of... One, it kind of highlights the ones that could, I think, have voice acting careers ahead of them if they wanted to go into it. Marion could easily go into it. She's got she's got stupid range.
Well, I remember her old Marine voice she did, and I was like, oh, she's a good voice actress. Wow. Yeah,
but it's also interesting. Polka had very good range as well.
No, wasn't she? Was it? I thought I heard a thing somewhere that said she was theorized to be a voice actress at some point.
I know that she was a pre-existing VTuber who was quite extreme.
Okay. Oh no, I think I remember you saying that to me. Yeah.
So, she was no holds barred. I'll say whatever the fuck I want type. From what I saw.
Oh, so a Vishojo girl, basically.
Yeah, basically. But I don't know about the voice acting, but I wouldn't be surprised. She's I find it interesting. Yeah. It's also kind of highlighting the ones that probably wouldn't do very well.
Yeah, I don't think Coco could be a voice actress, which is fine.
I think Coco plays Coco very well.
Yes, yeah, she does Coco well, and that's fine. You don't need to be a great voice actress or actor to do HoloLive. You just need to be fun.
You just need to be an engaging personality.
Maybe broken mentally,
Yeah. Or Aqua, who's... Oh no, that got dark actually, because I was watching some stuff today and just she's on a break.
Is she? Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, because bullshit.
Oh no, bummer.
Yeah, but yeah, whatever the fuck Aqua is.
Yeah, the onion. I have heard people use the meme "bring back the cabbage," and she's used for cabbage, red cabbage, rather than an onion. I only know it's the onion.
I'm sorry, she's an onion.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah. But we're here to talk about Transformers this week, Mikey. Believe it or not.
Oddly enough, there's a weird crossover later on with anime girls.
Yes, oddly enough, yeah. Well, it's not even that later on, to be honest, but we can
I wasn't
get
expecting this week.
No, it was I. And it wasn't on the big main websites, but again, we'll get to that. We'll start off with third-party stuff, because we actually have news to talk about, a little bit more bitey stuff than usual. We've got 01 Studios showing off Pumpkin, which is -P01 color prototypes, and it's a Unicron. This is not... How similar is this to the other Unicron that we saw? So I can't tell.
No, this is the first time I'm actually seeing this. So what I'm going to do, because I see this, and this is just to me what Unicron looks like.
Yeah, same. And it looks really similar, at least to my eyes, from not remembering. Similar to the last one that we saw, which got cancelled and then rebranded.
Yeah. Okay, so this has much deeper colors. And the original cell is more sort of mustardy yellow and blue.
Okay.
And a pale blue, whereas this is orange and grey.
This is kind of how I remember him.
Yeah, this
looking,
is
though.
how I always think of Unicron. I'm sure that's more a sign of the Mandela effect.
I guess,
but
yeah.
This is like how I think Unicron looks 95% of the time.
I think it's a better color as well.
Yeah,
colors in general,
richer,
more vibrant, and poppier.
Yeah, no, this is. No. If they ever want to repaint the War for Cybertron one, I suppose. But yeah, this is just how I always imagine Unicron looking, and I've always liked this look.
Same.
So, it took me a while looking at this, go like, why is this different?
Is the only difference the color then, or is there anything else that's different?
No, it's just color.
Okay, so it is the same. Who was the people that put him out last time? Because
same people. So
okay,
Studio 01 Studio is a puppet company of whatever the company Trend, but whatever.
That was the name I was trying to figure out. I was like, what was the other people called? I can't remember.
They did the let me double check.
Apparently, this is, if you're wondering, this is going off the
Zeta Toys.
Oh, Zeta Toys, that's it. If you're wondering, this is going off the special deco inspired by the Takara Universe Dominator Unicron from 2010, which, as me and Mikey both stated, is just how we remember Unicron.
Yeah, also,
the blue, but never mind.
Also, if you click on this, that's a different color scheme.
Which one? The Dominator?
Yeah, so that's the Armada. Yeah. The Armada one, which is a different orange and a different grey.
Yes.
Huh.
And he has black legs as well. It looks like, at least. But never mind.
I would say this looks more like that Armada retool from a few years ago. Let me see if that's Armada.
I think I remember which one you mean.
Yeah, it was like the anniversary one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's more in line with this. I'm just gonna bring up a picture for you.
Oh my god!
Although this does have more blue in it, but it's got more grey as well.
Mm-hmm.
And pressing buttons, eating time out of our show.
I believe in you, Mikey. I believe you can find it.
Professional commentary.
Oh!
See what I mean? It's like the top half is more in line with what we're seeing here, but the bottom half is kind of like the blue.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
Do you know what would probably be the best way of saying it? It's the Armada Unicron deco. Because the Armada Unicron... Oh god, there's another version of this retool!
Of the Armada Prime or of the pumpkin?
Yeah, there's too many Unicron. Basically, they use Unicron a lot.
I mean, he was a big toy, and they weren't willing to invest in a new Unicron until, obviously, more recently, and that's far too much of an investment for normal people to buy. And it's mainly a regret buy, I think people have said.
Unicron, and the first piece of art that came up for it is a Unicron that looks like this on Google Images.
Oh well, there you go.
So this is how I imagine Unicron, guys. I'm sorry, I may be the problem here, but...
You are a problem, but you're not the problem this time. But I would say it looks good. It's a decent change to the paint scheme. It's how I would prefer to get him. I think both me and you have said this. This is probably a lot better bang for your buck than the HasLab version.
I honestly feel so.
It's
also
like a third of the price? It's like 300 or something? 300, 400?
Yeah, and the transformation, especially now, like a lot less than a third of the price.
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
The transformation, I think, is also a lot more interesting.
It's less giant panels on hinges, right?
I've handled big toys like Unicron, and a lot of the fun factor is really absorbed out of it by just the sheer ridiculousness of trying to move them. Yeah.
Those toys are all about scale more than anything else. It's the wonder of, wow, this is so big.
Yeah.
It's being a size queen, basically. It's like, oh man, I want that horse cock. You get that horse cock and you're like, what do I do with it? This isn't fun.
That's the direction you went.
Yep. What other direction would I go?
I can think of several.
Okay, but we're not a family-friendly show, so I've got nothing. I've got no need to. I've got no need to hold back.
But Andy, think of the children.
No, bad children.
Bad children, you've crossed me for the last time.
You've ruined my life enough. Yeah. But yeah, that is the Unicron. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next story? One of the third-party ones that you found.
Yeah, so Future Toys XSF01 Metal Lycosa. So this is, I thought this was actually smaller, but this is masterpiece scaled Transmetal Tarantulas.
Yeah, these guys have these guys been putting out ones for a while? Because I know there has been a group that have been putting out kind of reissues of the original toys, but they've been updated in minor ways? Or is this somebody else?
There's a group that's been doing MP scaled versions of Transmetals. I know they did Optimus and Cheetor, but I don't know if it's the same group.
Oh, okay. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's someone else.
Maybe. So Lycosa, by the way, is a wolf spider. So metal wolf spider.
That makes sense.
That sounds like a Digimon.
Wolf
metal
spider.
Wolf Spidermon.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah. So this
Digivolve from a bird.
You're not gonna let that go, are you?
Never. It's so weird.
You know. I was watching your stream. You know when you got Angelomon into the dragon?
Yes.
That dragon was the original official end line.
What for Angelomon?
For Angelomon, they changed it into, or they added another one, which is a Phanimon, who is like a full-on angel lady.
Okay.
And also has like a demon form, but yeah, the original version of Angelomon's, like her original final natural evolution was Falcor.
Why? Water in the fire? Why?
What? Because it's like Holy Dramon in Japanese, and it's like a mystical holy dragon.
But it looks so silly.
Yeah, it's a fluffy dog dragon.
Yeah, why didn't they just put her in like really big thick armor and call her like Darkness? Boom, Darknessmon.
Darkness Dragonmon.
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
Darkness Dragon Womon.
Woman.
So anyway, Metal Lycosa, we see these look like they might actually be physical. Yeah, these are physical prototypes.
Yeah, these ones are. They showed a uncolored prototype on Facebook. Didn't go onto the main websites a while ago, but we didn't cover it because it was just the one picture.
So we get him in all angles in both his alt modes. His bike mode is as convincing as it ever was. He's got a launching grappling hook. He's got a saw that's they'd made into a gun in the cartoon because none of the Transmetals came with melee weapons and they had to futz things a lot.
Yeah, that was weird.
He also comes with 3 little spider drones.
That's really cool. I love
that. They're each unique as well, which I think is really, really cool. And you can attach like extras onto them, like little grapple arms and things like that. Will also come with a spider web for him to eat living things alive. So I think as long as the quality's up on this looks really good. I like the colors. It's not. I don't think it's 100% on point for the color scheme. I think some of the colors are a little bit too dark, but I think overall it looks really, really cool. I've always loved Tarantulas' Transmetal design.
Oh yeah, it's one of the better ones, I would say.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I think it says so much that I never bothered updating it. But he looks really, really cool. It was, he's got really nice accessories. I always like the alt modes. I like they give a kickstand for the bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think it's really, I like it. I like it quite a bit.
What's the other gun he comes with? Because that's a reference to one of the episodes, but I just can't remember what it does. Is it an injection gun or something?
Oh, which one is that?
It's the big white gun. I don't know what. You know where it's from?
I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to find a picture.
Yeah. I can send it to you if you can't find it.
Yeah, no, I see it. Okay. I'm not sure what that is from.
It's definitely from an episode.
Yeah, no, it is. Sure it is. It looks very much like it is, but yeah, that's not sticking with me.
No, me neither. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I think this looks good. What do you think, Andy?
I would agree generally as an update to an original figure. It looks good, but it looks like it will suffer the fact that it's going to transform exactly the same as the original. And that was not what you call that was 90s, late 90s, but still 90s engineering. This has a lot more articulation to it. Thankfully, he can swivel his wrists, which was always a problem with the original toy, because his hands were always gorilla arming, which was a thing back in the day. The head looks a bit weird in terms of how it's sculpted, but that might just be because we don't have a close-up shot. But I would have liked something a bit more clever engineering-wise, but clearly that's not what this is.
Yeah.
This is just going for the original toy's transformation and then making it better with better sculpting and better articulation. And I think for what it's doing, it seems like it's done a good job. But I'd prefer something a little bit fancier.
Yeah, no, I'd actually agree with that. It's not really pushing any buttons or pushing any boundaries.
No.
But I just, I think it's turned out fairly well, but it would have been nice if this was an update. But, in case it's not entirely clear, it's not a G1 thing, so I like it by default.
No, 100%. It's nice on that fact alone, because this is, again, kind of sticking with what the other company did. I tell you what the other company did as well, which was neat. They did a Ravage at some point recently. Yeah, and they didn't make it like the Japanese version of Ravage, which wasn't too bad, which was just a redo of Cheetor. They actually made it look exactly like the show model.
Hang on. Transarc Toys, that's the fella.
Is that who the other guys are?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that looks like he should be speaking in Russian.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't transform into a cassette, obviously, because,
physics.
What the fuck was that about in that episode? Oh boy, that couldn't happen.
Because they wanted a scene of him screaming Decepticons forever.
It was very cool, but it's like, can you imagine someone goes, okay, Hasbro, make this into a toy, and they're like, no, stop.
Why?
Please. It can't be done. There is no magic in the world. It's all gone.
This thing looks really well painted.
Yeah, it looks great. I've always wanted to try one of these things, because I think that's the company that did or is doing still the redo versions of the first edition Prime figures. Like they did the deluxe Megatron from that into a Voyager-sized figure, which was bigger than the Optimus Prime to keep it in scale. And they re-released the first edition Optimus Prime in their scale, and have done the RC as well. I think that's the same company, but I'm not sure. Either way, it is one of the guys I would like to try at some point, but it's like, hey, you have money? No. And I don't even know where to get these from, because I don't think they're on the conventional
TF
sites.
Source had them, but TF Source has him on pre-order for $70. Oh, that's actually reasonable.
For
Ravage.
For Ravage, okay, yeah. You need to go a bit more out your way, at least when you're in the UK. You can't go through the usual 2 or 3 channels that you would do normally, I would say.
I'm just looking at this Ravage. He's definitely at least partially a retool, but they went
it's hard
all
to tell.
Fucking out. I love how the neck transforms.
Yeah, it's great.
In beast mode. And, it gives him this, hump on his head, which, I really like. It's something I've always liked about, the Transmetal 2 Cheetor, is that big, hyena hump.
Yeah.
So I think I really like how this turned out really good. I think this looks better than their Cheetor.
Oh, it looks way better than the Cheetor.
It's half the price. So
is it? It's half the price. Huh.
Cheetor, before it was out of stock, was $125.
I wouldn't have guessed that, to be fair.
Pre-order, unless this is pre-order for $70 and we'll charge you the rest later, but it ain't saying that.
That would be really shitty if that was the case.
Yeah, but no. So, if you want one, he's up on TF Source right now for pre-order. Estimated arrival June 2021.
If you want to buy Mikey one, then let him know, and he will give you his address.
Yes, I will name something after you.
Wow.
And I can do that.
You do. You have the power to do that. You have the authority.
I have the power.
So there we go. There's technically an extra little story in there, I suppose. Shall I take us on to the next bit of news, Mr. Miguel?
Might as well.
Yeah, I want to hear what your opinion... Well, I want to hear what the internet's opinion was on this, because I don't know. I can only imagine this. You don't know?
I took the research off for this one.
Wow.
Mostly because I think we've done enough research to know... Basically, once it gets outside a certain circle, there's a lot more diverse opinion, and then once you're in the Transformers circle, it's the usual opinions.
That's true, yeah.
If we could one thing with Nicey, it's that, I'm not entirely sure the Transformers fandom is representative of anything bar the Transformers fandom.
I think that's fair. Yes, because Alien Attack Toys, who we know for just doing movie toys at this point, I would say. Is that fair?
Alien Attack, didn't they do the Prime? The non-transforming Prime fellas?
I don't think that was... I don't know. I don't think that was them. You can have a look while I explain what this is. They showed off the OPG optional.
No, they did movie. You're right. They're the guys who did the movie guys.
Yeah, it's only Dino and stuff like that.
And an Optimus Prime.
Yeah. This is the OPG optional girl, which is a sexy lady version of Optimus Prime. Movie Optimus Prime, obviously, because they do the movie toys. We see her in grey, I assume CG. I don't think this is a real version yet.
I can see some shadows.
Yeah, but that could be generated in the computer.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, the eyes are freaking me out just because they're blue against everything else. So
I think it's what's making me consider it be not a prototype is the background. Because it is grey, it doesn't look like a real color grey. It looks like a computer-generated kind of grey. But I could be wrong. Either way, we see her with the Optimus Prime blades out. A few different hand options. She seems to be wearing a COVID mask, obviously.
Yeah,
she has the boob.
She's very, considerate of the current situation. Well done,
exactly. Her. Yeah. She has the Optimus Prime movie boob bra, which
which is the only bit of clothing on her torso.
Yes, pretty much.
And it's missing a bit.
It is. Yeah. So you get that cleave. She has the Optimus Prime sword from Age of Extinction, and I guess the shield from Age of Extinction. Is that right?
Yeah, the shield that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was Sentinel Prime shield, wasn't it? No. I don't know.
Like the sword, he pulled out of like a big thing. The shield he pulled out of his ass.
Oh, okay. I can remember. And yeah, that seems to be all they've shown so far. They've shown some front images, some back images. If you wondered how they're doing the booty will have a separate thong plate, I guess you could say. So that means when you move the hips forward, it's not going to break up the ass sculpt, if you were concerned about that. Which some people would be.
I'm sure. Listen, I'm still gonna laugh at it though.
Oh no, yeah, that's fine. What do you think of this, Mikey? It is. It's interesting. It's different.
It looks, in terms of articulation, it looks decent.
Yeah, I don't think it looks amazing for articulation.
No, like not as good as I was. Like I think like the humanoid proportions are going to be clashing with some of the armor parts.
Yes.
Also, it's kind of hard to tell if like. Is she wearing armor, or have she got robot legs?
I think she's wearing. Oh yeah, is she? Yeah,
she
is it all going to be robot legs? Yeah,
she doesn't have knees. I've noticed.
It's going to be more disturbing if it's like robot leg from the knee down, but then it's like fleshy tones above that.
Yeah. Oh god, what if she's like actually more like Alice, and it's her like mid pretender?
There you go. Yeah, that could be a thing.
Like. For, like, the big boob, sexy anime girl, like, action figure line, which is prominent and in every aspect and model kits and everything else, she doesn't look like she's breaking any, like, boundaries or molds of what those figure lines do.
Yeah, agreed,
yeah, she's fine. Like, it is basically just, like, Shibamura Prime for years, I don't know if he still does it, did the Optimus and Megatron and everyone else, like, sexy anime girls that were, like, really prominent in the fandom for, I think, about 10 years.
Yeah, for ages.
Yeah, and this is basically that. This is almost like to the T, that kind of aesthetic. She has abs that could kill a man or woman. I don't know, like, I've occasionally looked at, like, the model kits and a few of the action figures of the, like, the anime girl stuff, but, like, they're usually the stuff with, like, crazy armor, or, like, some, like, there's one, like, it's a really military-style design I really liked, and it's just because it makes it look like sort of steampunk. I'm not really rushing to pick any of them out. This is basically just like, what if we give a set of very large double Ds and put the worst Optimus armor over it?
Yeah. I like the head design. I like how she's almost got a ninja mask. That's kind of nice.
I like the sculpt. I like the overall. Like I like the like it's well sculpted. It clearly got some thought put into design. But it's I'm being detached when I say this. Like they've thought, they've thought of ways to bring in, like, even the weird bra has the same split down the middle that Optimus has in his chest.
And she has wheel side skirts.
Yeah, and like the right legs and everything else. Like it. I mean, going by it, it's actually the wrong Optimus because like she's got some Age of Extinction weapons, and this is movie 1, 2, 3 Optimus.
Is it? Oh yeah, you're probably right. Actually, yeah.
But I'm just like, yeah, cool, great, enjoy yourself. Like, if you're buying this, fair play to you. I'm not super excited about it. I think if you're going to do this, I think it could have been better. And possibly in purple, with sort of violet hair.
Mm.
And I want it to be Akane. I want them to do a third-party version of Akane.
Yeah, head would be too long, though.
Well, no, you can even have clothes on her. It's fine. You can have her in the uniform and then just have Optimus Shattered Glass armor on her. It's fine.
You just want more Akane, that's why.
Yes, I do, because she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's like one of the best characters I've ever seen.
Do you think this line's going to continue past this, or do you think this is just going to be a one-off?
I could see a Megatron.
You don't think the next one will just be Bumblebee? I know it's not Hasbro doing it, but
I mean, if it kicked off, I'd say Starscream more likely.
I don't know. I think Bumblebee and Megatron's a safer bet.
Soundwave, I think, would be a big one.
Okay, yeah.
But like it's movie stuff, so like that's the thing. Like,
that's a good point.
I mean, the movie stuff and anything doesn't interest me, and like this is one of those things that's just like I am very happy to watch people buy this and be happy. So, and like I said, I have no idea like how this is going down in the fandom. I mean, I can make a few educated guesses, but I haven't looked into it. Yeah, I mean, if you've gone on HLJ, you've seen 1,000 things like this.
Well, if you haven't, wow, how did you miss them?
Yeah, because they've started very prominently advertising their adult section.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. This is one of the things where, like, I'm always happy to see something like just like pushing boundaries and being weird as hell. Just like, this is actually rather safe for what it is.
Yeah, again, it's something different as well, which is kind of nice, even if it doesn't mean that, I'm going to buy it or anything like that.
Yeah, no. I've got my nicey and I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news, sir?
Yeah, so, bit of news from the movies. It's been announced that there is going to be an upcoming animated film. It's been rumored for a while, but this is the first official confirmation. We don't know anything about it, apart from the fact it's supposedly going to revolve around Prime and Megatron.
Oh my god, what a change.
Who could have foreseen? We don't know what universe it's set in, and we don't know if it's original or anything like that.
It's either one or two things, Mikey, and I think we know what it might be.
It could be three things. Like, it depends, is Lorenzo behind it or not? Probably. But, so basically it could be a movie, it could be the other movie, or it could be we're going like completely standalone and forgetting continuity because we forgot it when we were trying to have it.
I was just going to say it's G1.
Oh, go to hell and die.
You know, it's true though, they could do
Go
it.
to hell and die. But yeah, so it's been confirmed that the director will be Josh Cooley. Now, I looked into his background a bit. He has not done a lot of actual like film stuff. He's worked a lot as a story artist, right? And he's done a bit as a story supervisor. The only films he wrote that have been released anywhere were Inside Out, which was a Disney one, I believe. Yeah. Which I don't know anything about. I saw the trailer. That was it. And he wrote and directed Toy Story 4. Or at least he was one of the writers for Toy Story 4.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who worked on Toy Story 4, which is another reason why it was bad.
Yeah, I heard it was supposed to be... I haven't seen it. I heard it was supposed to be good.
It ended at 3. They made another one and it felt tacked on.
Oh, yeah, it definitely ended at 3 broke me.
Because 3 was good.
Bro, oh my god, 3 broke me. Yeah. But like I said, I haven't seen 4, so I'll take your word of it. But anyway, he won an Oscar for it, whatever he did. But so he's rather untested, and not in the way like Travis Knight was untested, but he did a movie that I can unobjectively or unequivocally rather say I thought was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, that's why I got so excited about Travis Knight. And I was just like, oh. But, one thing I will say, we have someone doing an animated film whose entire experience is doing animation.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to say, can we keep doing that, please?
No.
We could.
Oh.
And I think we should.
Oh, wow.
He's also largely Pixar or Disney, so this is his first foray outside it. It's also confirmed, just because they're mentioned there, also confirmed that G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, which is out 2020, I saw a trailer, looks like Shang-Chi, but with more ninjas instead of like just martial arts, which basically means it looked like a generic martial arts action film.
Sure.
I can't say I'm excited. Are you excited about a Snake Eyes movie?
Oh god, I've seen the trailer for it. No, they're changing a lot of stuff, so no.
I'm not invested enough to care if they change anything. It just doesn't look exciting.
It'd be like they're changing enough stuff, so it's like that's not Snake Eyes. So why are we calling it a Snake Eyes movie when it's not Snake Eyes?
What if they said they were going to do? You know what? I wouldn't mind. Genuinely, I think they should do a Storm Shadow movie.
I mean, that'd be interesting. Sure.
Forget Snake Eyes altogether, because let's face it, Snake Eyes isn't that cool.
To be fair, their stories are intrinsically linked. To be honest, so
it doesn't have to be.
It kind of does.
Look
it kind of does. Otherwise, then why have Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes?
Hey, why did Iron Man 3 have the Mandarin?
Well, no, it's like, why would they hate each other? There's a reason why they hate each other so much.
He could hate lizard tongue.
What? You don't even know what's going on. Get out of here.
Dungeons and Dragons, which Goldstein and Daly directing. If that's the Goldstein, I think it is. That's not good.
It didn't have not Michael Ironside. Who was it that who was in the last one with
Jeremy
Irons. Yeah, it will never be better than that. And the guy with the blue lipstick.
Oh God. Clue with Ryan Reynolds. God help us all.
Why?
Because people want Knives Out 2 to be made, and I thought Knives Out was terrible. As someone who likes murder mysteries, that was bad.
Yeah.
Monopoly.
No.
With Kevin Hart and director Tim Story, not Toy Story.
No.
Micronauts with Dean DeBloy.
I don't know if you can ruin that, because I don't think anybody bar you knows what that is anymore.
I read a comic.
Yeah.
And Mask, which, I mean,
it's just G.I. Joe, but Fast and the Furious.
And an annoying kid sidekick.
Hey, not intro.
And a robot.
And a robot, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like I said, hopefully, having an animation background will pay off. I will say all his animation are Pixar Disney type ones, which means, like, are we going to get a generic looking comedy, heartwarming family drama out of Transformers? If we do, I suppose.
Yep.
But yeah, so any thoughts? I mean, are you yeah?
Transformers media in general for me since Prime has not been on the up and up. It's been at best meh, which was Transformers Bumblebee, the movie, because I wasn't a big fan of that. So I mean, I'll give it a go, but I can't say I'm like thrilled to hear that there's another thing. Hopefully it'll be good though. I do pray for good media at all times. It's just I'm rarely rewarded with it. So what about yourself, Mikey? Are you happy? Are you intrigued?
I'm curious.
Okay, well, interesting.
We will see what comes of it.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
Andy, move us on to some toy news.
Alright, toy news. We got some red stuff coming up, or announced at the very least. Red Optimus Primal and reformatting Megatron, because they got to get a repaint in there some way. So how do they do it? They translucent up Megatron and maybe paint him half cyber and just purple on the other side. Excuse me. So, Red Optimus Primal will feature 30 points of articulation, including, unsurprisingly, 2 flip-down shoulder-mounted blasters and 2 cyber blades. Can combine, and hidden forearm blasters. Oh my god! Reformatted Megatron depicts Megatron midway through his rebirth into the immense, powerful, menacing Galvatron, who's not part of this figure.
Immense, powerful, menacing.
Yeah, exactly. The Class G1 movie includes ion fusion, cannon fall. It comes with the same shit as his original version, basically. Yeah. So those are those two that were announced. We also, because I didn't put them together like an idiot, new Transformers Red Kingdom and San Diego Comic-Con set EAN codes. Everybody knows your ENA codes. So, while we don't have any images of the toys yet, the confirmed characters are very, very promising. So says the author. The red line. We're still waiting. We have to get the important characters done first.
Yeah, knockout.
No, we
did RC. We have to follow RC up with Knockout. Also,
I said important characters, not boring ones that no one likes.
I haven't seen a single good review of RC, and I'm still going to buy the fucking thing when I think of it one day.
What are people's issues with the RC out of interest?
They say the quality of the plastic's bad.
Oh. I'm not surprised, but
yeah.
But the line expands with Transformers Prime and G1 figures. Woo, G1 figures.
Woo.
A key character is coming in Kingdom and more surprises. Okay, so the list.
Hang on.
What?
Key. Is he Key?
Oh, I thought you were doing Kikiriki, and I was like, no.
Kikiriki!
Kiara's not part of the red line.
She probably would be happy if she was.
Would be weird. So, we have Transformers Generation 1 Shockwave, Generation 1 Galvatron, Prime Optimus Prime, and Prime Megatron. Then we've got codes for the Gen SDCC1. We have Wolf Cybertron Kingdom Voyager Blaster. Alright. Woo.
Key character, Andy.
Yeah, well, Blaster,
Key.
I feel like at least Blaster's a bit more unused than some of the other ones, because usually he's just a redo of Soundwave. So
He will be a redo of Soundwave.
No, he'll be new.
No, he won't. He'll be a redo of the Siege Soundwave.
No, he'll be new. Mate.
He'll be a retool of the Siege Soundwave, which didn't transform into anything.
No, he was the leader, wasn't he? No, he was the Deluxe.
He was a Voyager.
I don't think he was a Voyager.
He was a Voyager.
I don't think he was a Voyager. Oh no, he was a Voyager.
I think the leader leader Soundwave was
he turned into the space barge, didn't he?
Yeah, the leader was Titan's Return, and he got done into Blaster.
I'm gonna say this Blaster will transform into a boombox, and it won't be a
spaceship
redo.
mode.
No,
with a spaceship mode.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be a new mold myself.
It's not going to be a new mold. Andy.
I'm gonna totally say he's.
Has any of the characters who have been have that happened?
Yeah, Mirage is a.
I want you to look in the mirror and don't lie to me. I want you to lie to yourself. I want you to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself that Mirage is a new toy.
Mikey, every time I look into the mirror, I have to lie to myself. So I'm used to that. There's
You're
also
so pretty.
You can do this. You can do this. Don't break the mirror. Don't break the mirror.
It'll be fine. It'll buff out.
Exactly. It's fine. One day. And then Transformers Generation Studio Series 86 Hot Rod variant.
Now that got people talking.
Repaint?
Everyone was who it could be, and everyone's just going pink hot rod, pink hot rod, pink hot rod.
Yeah.
And first of all, I went in and said Shattered Glass Hot Rod. And then I got a really snarky answer from a few people just that's not Generation 1. Why would that be in Studio Series, not Flex? And I sort of pulled back and said, what about Black Hot Rod from that weird toy release from years ago that never got that e-hobby from 2000 and whatever? I'm just because I would love if after all this you still never get your pink hot rod.
I mean, it would make sense to do the pink hot rod because it's there's.
And I don't mind hot rod. I think he looks like a good toy, but
there's no effort there if they do the pink hot rod.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, I think it looks better in the red.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, always. But I mean, if all you have to do is go, hey, change this red to pink, and we can make more money and not really do anything else, I think they'd likely do that. To be honest,
we took the slider and we went up.
Yeah, we went more pank, boom. Because I doubt it would come with anything different. To be honest, it would just
found
be
the gamma setting on our paint machine.
Yeah, exactly. Just turned up a bit. What do you think of the red figures though? What about the Optimus Primal, the reformat Megatron, and
Primal,
then the other ones?
Primal, I'm curious about.
Okay.
Cheetor and RC, Optimus and Megatron. The general talk was that their quality was good, and same with Soundwave. Cheetor, people didn't like him, and I know RC people didn't like how she turned out.
Is this just quality that people are having
quality,
issues with?
people who are excited to get her and said I wasn't happy with what I got.
All right.
So I will still pick her up, and maybe I'll have a different opinion. But I've had that with a few of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection a few times, where it's just oh god, I really want to like you,
but for some bizarre reason, the quality on them's just not there.
Yeah,
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. They definitely have a plastic tolerance feel that feels a bit spongy at times. I reformatted Megatron, cool enough. Not something I'm interested in. Shockwave, I'd be curious. Shockwave and Galvatron, I'd at least be curious how they turned out.
Okay.
Prime, it's a couple of Prime. I like the Prime design quite a bit for Optimus, and it's Prime Megatron, who's like my favorite version of evil Megatron ever. So yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with that as an option.
I think the issue with these are going to be like, I know I'm not usually a scale whore, but you're not going to have the scale of these guys. Primal's going to be the same size as Cheetor. Yeah, and Megatron isn't going to tower over Optimus. Yeah, which he should do. He needs to be like at least a head taller. Megatron needs to be a head taller than Prime. Yeah, like for anyone who doesn't know, in Prime, Megatron was fucking huge. Yeah, he was massive. Like he was quite a bit like I think at least like the line of his shoulder was at about the same height as Optimus's head. You're probably right. Yeah, so he was something a very big boy. Anyway. Yeah. The retool of Siege Soundwave into Voyager Blaster, because that's what it's going to be. Nah, cool. Be brand new. It won't. Cool. Happy for you all. Hot Rod, I'd have to see it. If it's pink, I'm going to be really disappointed. If it's something else, I'm going to laugh my ass. Oh, Primus. It's not going to be Akane. No, Primus. They'll do it into Primus. That weird just gold. Yeah. No, because no one in the UK or the US gives a shit about that. They do that in Japan, definitely. No, not here. Listen, if they're doing a brand new toy of Blaster, they're doing gold. Yeah, but people would want that. They wouldn't want golden Rodimus unless they'd be like, "Is this a lucky draw? Am I gonna have to pay 1,000 for it?" Yeah, they can lie. You think about it. Years from now, you can lie and make money. Yay! Among the ignorant masses. Yay! Oh well, there you go. There's other stuff down here. What do you mean? Kingdom World Collide 4-pack buzzwordy Bumblebee line. Oh, I didn't notice that. Buzzwordy Bumblebee is just Bumblebee toys, right? I think so. There haven't been 4 Bumblebee toys in Kingdom. Are you sure about that? I don't know. Maybe they will. Yeah. You don't know shit. Starscream with a cape and Studio Series Voyager Soundwave. TF6 Voyager Sound. Oh, Bumblebee Soundwave. Oh, okay. Movie Bumblebee, you mean? Bumblebee movie Soundwave. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The one that looked like Soundwave. Didn't have an alt mode, though. No, why would he? So I would just have him, just let him turn into a truck. That'd be easier. I like it better as an alt mode. Mm-hmm. That's fair. And it's usually led to some really good designs. Hello, Cyberverse Soundwave. Is it weird that these ones weren't highlighted like the other ones were? Yeah. These ones were just kind of stuck in a bottom small paragraph? Yeah. Who did this? Black Convoy, get your shit together. Who did this? Who crossed me? But there we go. I don't think I have anything to add to this story, because it's kind of meh, at least to my eyes. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news? Or last bit of news? I'm going to retweet something on Twitter, and I want your live reaction. I don't have live reactions. I have. So go on to Twitter. Okay. So I just retweeted something. It's a card. It's a card from... Oh, wow. What the fuck? Wow. What is it, Mikey? Apparently, it's Galvatron out of Dinobot, for want of a better term. Yeah, kind of. Oh, see, I saw this more as a Cyber Beast. Yeah, no, I would like it to be a Cyber Beast. I want everything to be. But Dinomus, which is a... terrible name. Yeah, a weirdly upgraded Dinobot with a weird future Predacon symbol. Yeah, one can only assume it is like you said, maybe he's fused with Galvatron or something lame. Oh, but it's just going to be a remold, right? Came with Kingdom Galvatron. Like, if this is a real toy, of course. But that's fair. Ah, no, Andy, this is how Kingdom is going to end. Oh, by becoming G1. No, they're going to say, like, we broke the mold. We took the most popular character from the fiction, from Beast Wars, and we fused them with Galvatron, and then you have to kill them both. Cool, sounds great. I just care about him being repainted into yellow, so he can be a Cyber Beast. Yes, with lots of sharp, pointy bits. And don't really care about anything else. A flip-out blade penis. Yeah, because this is as close as you're going to get to that. Because then, in terms of remolding, this is as safe as it's going to get. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll give him a really fancy tail that has the cock spike on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting. If this even happens, like you say, who knows?
So yeah, taking this on, we've got some Cyberverse reveals, which caught me off guard. So the first reveals for the season 4 movies have come out. These are not what I'd call particularly interesting reveals.
No.
So if you remember, the RID line had the Crash Combiner gimmick, where like someone turned into the bottom and someone turned into the top. This is basically the same. Don't know if it's going to be in the show. One thing in it makes me kind of curious if it is, because it would be really weird. But so we have, it's also our first look at a couple of characters, or at least vague-ish characters. So you've got Bumblebee and Swoop, who combine to Bumble Swoop.
Oh god, his horrible face, his eyes are giant. The nightmarish.
He's killed before. And you've got Megatron and Slug, who combine to Slugtron.
It looks terrible.
Which is basically a Triceratops being ridden by a grey Unicron.
Yeah, it's a really bad design. Like, it looks really bad.
The reason I'm not 100% sure these are actually going to be in the show is because like early synopsises said that the villain for at least the Dinobot portion was going to be Megatron X, who is an alternate universe version of Megatron, who might also be dead. Our Megatron, not X, and who is also pitch black.
Yeah.
So also Unicron has not even been blinked at in this show. So I mean, I'm not saying I'd be objecting if it would turned out to be regular Megatron, but, you know, also his design's completely wrong. But, yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of Megatron just going like, I am Unicron.
No, you're not. Yes, I am.
I put on the hat. I am the God Slayer. Yeah, but, like, these are gimmick toys. These are hopefully enjoyable, very, very simple gimmick toys.
Yeah, schlocky kind of things, but you know, maybe fun enough for the kids.
For the kiddlywinks.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this one and I'll do the last one? Just because I'm more relevant to touch on the last one, I suppose.
By this one, do you mean the Generation Select one, or do you mean the upcoming Studio Series ones?
No, both. You do both of them.
Okay, that's fair. I can do that. Okay.
I'll do the last story.
No worries. So, Studio Series, we have Slug, Gnaw, Grindor, and Jolt announced. Now, Mikey will be talking about some of these ones in more detail.
No, like, you do the toys, and I'll do the comic. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't even know we had a comic stuff. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, okay.
Why don't you pay attention to all the things I say to you, Andy?
Because I hate you. Boom.
That's not relevant.
Okay, so there's these ones. There's also a Generation Select Artfire. And then we had the reveals of some of the ones. So we'll start. We'll start with Artfire because you know it's in and out. Mikey, Generation Select Artfire. It's Inferno, but Japanese, and he has a Target Master.
That's
an English Target Master, so it's not as good as the Japanese release ones. He also comes with some special effects parts, which I think are the ones that came with this Target Master anyway. There's also, I guess, extra fire engine parts, which were these not on the original Inferno? My
major concern about the original Inferno was that it's not an ant, so I'm not really the guy to ask what came with it.
That's fair. That's fair. What do you think of Artfire, though? I think he doesn't look too bad.
Also not an ant.
No, true, but he's not called Inferno, so it's fine.
What if you had an ant Inferno redone into Artfire?
That'd be weird. So it'd be a white and red ant. That'd be interesting. That could be quite nice.
I think he looks fine. He looks like Artfire.
Yeah, that's the thing. I never got excited for Artfire, but he was one of the ones I knew that was very rare. And I went,
I mean, he's not like Ricochet. I just think looks cool.
Yeah, he had a cool... to be fair, I think Artfire has a nice, almost G2 color scheme.
Yeah,
Ricochet has a better G2 color scheme. But Artfire is better than what we did get for G2 Inferno, which was just Inferno, but with a big missile launcher, which was bad. But this is okay. You know how you could spice it up, Mikey?
Zombies.
Tiger stripes. Bright green, lime green tiger stripes all over the red parts of him.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do a big kind of sploosh of purple across the front of his truck mode. So it looks like he just drove into an alien and it just exploded over him. And that's how you make it more G2. You have two really obnoxious, glary colors over the top of these two colors, and that's how you make it more G2. And I would be 100% down with that. And then along maybe like the inside of the outside of the arm, you have Generation 2, the full thing, and then you have that on the front. Maybe it says Transformers or Trans, Autobot insignia, and then Formers like that. Been the G2 logo.
You really are the child who reacted to every time someone screamed extreme in a 90s cartoon, aren't you?
I mean, that was literally every cartoon, so why wouldn't I?
Batman didn't say extreme.
No, he said it under his breath, though. He puts Joker in prison.
If you're out there, please do that. For this Bruce Timm thing that's being rebooted, please just say extreme under your breath constantly.
If I think of a Batman that would say extreme, it would probably be Frank Miller's Dark Knight Batman that would say extreme.
Oh, no.
Especially when he's like beating up the dude with the massive nipples, which I always thought was weird.
He's also someone who would use the term edgelord unironically.
Oh, totally, 100%. I never liked Frank Miller's Dark Knight.
No,
I remember getting into comics and be like, everybody going, The Dark Knight's one of the greatest, most influential Batman comics ever. And I was like, I prefer the Long Halloween, thank you.
I like Bruce Wayne Murderer, so...
That's fair. Those
are dope. Also, fine choice, sir. Fine choice. Long Halloween, good book.
Oh, it's very good. I'm terrified of what the animated version is going to be like, because I can only imagine it will be bad.
Yes, but Dark Knight's a side tangent. Dark Knight is something I always think is very important historically.
That's fair.
And is only regarded as one of the best comics of its age because it didn't really have any competition.
Is this kind of like our opinion, mine and your opinion of Watchmen as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. It sounds like that. Where we would be railed at the comic convention for such opinions.
We should just run through like a Comic-Con. That first thing we do post COVID, run through a Comic-Con like yelling out like popular comics suck.
That'd be fun. I can't imagine anything would go wrong.
Everything from Image is crap.
I'm trying to think if that's not true.
I think it's true, but
I don't know. Maybe you could be right. In terms of studio series, for the ones that didn't get revealed on the, what was it called, Transformers Fan Friday eventy online thingamabob. As mentioned, we got Revenge of the Fallen Jolt. He's coming as a deluxe class figure. Do you remember him being called the Transformers Jesus, Mikey?
Yes, he is Electric Jesus.
He is Electric Jesus for that one time he brought Optimus Prime back, and then he vanished from the movie.
And died. And then John Barber killed him in a comic because nothing escapes John Barber.
No, well, they tried to do something with the fucking comics to make the movies interesting, but, you know, you can only do
Joel
so
was
much.
hiding under a box, and all they could hear was, I'm going to fix all the gaps. Oh, he's coming for me!
As best they can, anyway. Revenge of the Fallen, Grindor, and Ravage. One can, I think, accurately assume just a recolored version of Blackout, which I think we've already had, right?
Yeah, Blackout was one of the first ones in the line. He's that big leader toy.
So theoretically, it'll just be that, but with a new small Ravage figure, I would guess. That makes sense.
I'm assuming so.
I can't imagine they'll update it just for Grindor's sake.
Yeah, non-converting Ravage. As long as Ravage is posable, I'm fine with it not transforming in this case, because, you know, he didn't.
It'll be the equivalent of whatever Scorponok was for the Blackout figure, whatever that was.
That would be weird.
Like when I say the equivalent, I mean, you know, as posable and as big and as well painted.
I always wanted a Blackout, but I never saw it.
Did you not?
It's not something I really wanted to like order online and pay shipping for. But it's one of those things like if I'd seen it in the shop, I'd have picked it up.
Was this at the point where Smiths weren't doing studio series?
Yeah. It was before it actually hit them.
Yeah, I thought that was the case. So those are those. It's not really worth going into the other ones because we actually got images for them. But Robot Jesus and Grindor Mikey, any thoughts on them? Or the idea of them?
I have no interest in Jolt because it's not a good design as well as anything else.
He's got the power. He
does, but let's never forget that he is the most last-minute inclusion into any Transformers product ever.
Is that true?
Yes.
I don't know.
The additional scenes in Bumblebee were given more time to settle in than Jolt.
I was going to say Sideswipe, but Sideswipe did do something a bit more significant.
Yeah,
he did cut that dude in half.
Sideswipe was clearly part of the original filming of the film.
Yeah.
Whereas Jolt was literally added in like 5 minutes before they went to air. because the car company said GM said we want to advertise our electric car.
Oh, okay.
And like they literally had the film finished and had to go back and like add him in digitally to a bunch of scenes. And
Yay.
I think they recorded one line of him from Ratchet about him, and everything else like I think they added like the cars in a few like panning shots.
You're probably right, man. You're probably right.
Also, he comes out of fucking nowhere in that movie, and he goes nowhere as well. He just disappears. One
of many issues with that goddamn movie.
Revenge of the Fallen, classic cinema.
Pretty bad. So F. Which is like Fan Fest Friday. Oh, Hasbro's First Friday.
First Friday, yeah, the newest one. I forgot these were still a thing.
Same. It was actually a pretty good guess on my part. Yeah, they've been doing like Star Wars and other ones here and there.
Star Wars.
Yeah. So they showed off, as I said before, Studio Series 86 stuff and Shattered Glass stuff as well. Woo! So, Studios 86, which is totally not the Kingdom line that has been branched off. I tell you, I did see a rumor spreadsheet that had future toys coming up. And it classed them as 2022's line was called Legacy. And they still had stuff going on for the Studio Series 86 stuff, which made me consider what's the fucking difference, if that's a thing.
I'm trying to think who'd be left to do. I mean, they've done everyone important, haven't
From
they?
the 86 line.
Yeah.
I can't remember offhand. I wish I'd kept the image up. It was on Facebook, so...
I mean, they did Jazz, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it would be an hour of searching to try and find... Oh! I remember who's in the Legacy stuff. Yeah. The Legacy stuff said the Stunticons. All of the Stunticons.
I believe we've done them.
Yes, but we haven't done the G1 versions of the Mikey. Mikey, we've done the special Combiner Wars version, but not the G1 accurate version.
I will grant you that Menasor is not good. He's like so very much the first time they tried it.
Yes, it was all right. It had issues though, many issues.
Motormaster kind of broke it.
Yeah, and I think with them seeing like the legend scale one that looks really good that we both would like if it wasn't difficult to get. I'm guessing they're thinking, we could do this again.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Because you know they would as well. But anyway, yes. We'll talk about the things we actually have images for. So
yeah.
We'll start off with the one that you said was going to come, and you said you weren't going to like, and you were right because it looks terrible. It's the Shattered Glass version of Starscream in Jetfire colors, which is, of course, the better mold that they decided to use, because they decided to use the Earthrise mold for Starscream, didn't they, Mikey?
You mean the one that would make sense?
Yes, well, the one that was just generally a better toy. No, they didn't. Nope.
No,
They did the same as they did with Megatron, and they went, "Hey, let's use the Siege one again."
I suppose you could say at least with Megatron, the toys are so similar. It's apples and apples. This is like also the toys are really similar because there's a lot of shared tooling and everything else. But
sure,
like that fucking brick of an alt mode.
Yeah, it wasn't good when it originally came out. People tolerated it because it's like, it's a Cybertronian mode. They tried to do the Tetrajet, and I think people were very kind to it. I remember handling one of Thu's at TF Nation and being like, ooh. Oh, no.
Yeah, I've touched it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is another one, but in arguably a very boring color scheme.
Yeah, it's basically like...
Which is what you said it would be, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's knowing and realizing.
Yeah.
I kind of like the swords.
Yeah, the sword seems to be... you can split it in half, and you can have two swords, so you can push it together and have one big sword. That's nice. It's not justifiable to get the figure, but...
Yeah. It's so boring looking. And also we've had this toy 8-9 times, but it's so boring looking.
They are getting their money's worth out of the Siege molds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like, also, I will always say, like, the Shattered Glass Starscream was just a terrible idea off the cuff.
It never looked good.
Off the cuff.
Yeah.
Like, It is the laziest fucking thing you could have... Like, it's also, like... God almighty, you could have delved into, like... Of course, this was, like, very first wave Shattered Glass, where they genuinely weren't trying.
Yeah. To be fair as well, I can't think of a worse thing to do for your second in command than put him in the same colours as the leader, because he's the exact same colours as the Shattered Glass Megatron.
Yeah.
The exact same colours. And it's like, I don't think that's a great idea.
No,
hey-ho.
I knew I was never going to like this because I just don't like Shattered Glass Starscream. No. And before anyone goes like, yeah, but...
What would they
you
but,
you
though?
could pull this on me. Everyone said, yeah, but I was just like, haha. Starscream was a secondary character with limited screen time in Gridman who wasn't developed enough for me to care about. So I don't have to buy this.
Okay, well, that's pretty small PP energy, but fair enough. Gonna have a hole in your collection, but okay.
Listen, they haven't done... If they do a Commander class Shattered Glass Rodimus, I don't... Just shoot me in the head. Just shoot me in the fucking head.
Your wish has been granted.
It's what you wanted, wasn't it?
It's my little monkey hand, one of the fingers curls up. It grants you any wish. That's good, but the wish is cast. Ooh, that's bad.
Oh, that's bad. But it comes with a free Frogurt. That's good.
That's good.
The Frogurt has potassium benzoate.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Oh, man. That was a good Simpsons Halloween episode.
Remember when Simpsons was good?
I do. Long time
vaguely.
ago.
Only vaguely now.
Only vaguely.
Time.
Mikey, we talked a little bit about this guy last time, but now we have a lot more images of him. It's Slug with Slug. Daniel in the pooping pose.
He's causing a kerfuffle because people really want to call him Slag.
Why?
Because...
Oh, no, because that's his name. His name's Slag.
I don't care what his name is.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. His name is Slag, but he's officially called Slug because that's what they had to do. So there you go.
Because, there's a reason we didn't get another Spastic.
It's a real shame we didn't. It's a real shame. Because it's silly. It's one of those things where you can keep talking about it.
Listen, it's the one power core combiner I think anyone would want to buy these days.
The annoying thing is, if you remember, it just had a sticker over it which said Spastic. That was the annoying thing. They never committed.
It was a sticker they put over that said drag strip.
Was it? I thought it was the other way around.
No, the boxes were all printed with Spastic, and then they all panicked because it hit every newspaper in Britain, and they put a sticker over it that said drag strip. They never printed new boxes, so you could just take off the sticker and it could still say Spastic.
All right then, Miss Mikey, let's talk about Slag, the Triceratops or Biceratops. Is he a Biceratops?
No, but there isn't actually a Biceratops.
Is there a Quadceratops?
That's Rex.
Is there a quintuplet Pterosaps?
Yeah, there's a Pentaceratops.
Oh, I was joking. What's a Pentaceratops?
5.
5, wow. So does he just have horns everywhere?
Yeah, he just kills. He looks at anyone, they explode from the number of horns.
To be fair, that just sounds like a mistake.
God's mistake.
God made this. Well, there's a reason why there aren't many of them. It's like the platypus. They just keep going for some reason. But yeah, we saw images of this guy.
There used to be giant platypuses.
Back. How big? How giant?
Oh God, like
people size?
Same size as sort of between a bull and a hippo.
Oh wow! Oh man, why didn't we see any of that? Those would be great. Terrifying, but great. Need a transformer of that. Yeah, we saw images of Slag, this guy, a while ago. But now we've got the promo images, and we see him with Poopin' Daniel. Who is totally not just a reuse of Wheelie, and no lessons were learned from it, I guess.
Yeah, I wish I could say, it's just because he's a retool, but, he is, all new parts. They've just learned nothing from it.
Yeah, it's the exact same pose as Wheelie, but like you say, it is new parts, so it has to be a new mold, but he has the weird squat legs, so he can sit, in quotations, on Slug.
Yeah, also no face.
Well, who has faces in this day, Mikey? All white people look the same, if you ask me.
I'm not getting on. Hands in the air. Do not care. Backing away.
It's fine. You look the same as me, Mikey.
Backing away!
The only difference is the green.
Not helping a case!
Mikey, what do you think of Slag, Slug, this guy? What do you think of him? Do you like him?
So we got better pictures. Robot mode looks decent. It does
better than the last time, do you think?
Better than the last time I saw it. I think it looks very on show model, which, if you're doing studio series is kind of the idea. So I think the robot mode turned out okay. I'm not in love with it. I would still.
He looks quite chunky, quite fat.
Yeah, I would prefer. I don't like his shoulders. I would prefer a much heavier redesign. I really wish he had the black head instead of the red head because I do not like how mono it looks like. I'm very glad he's got the silver in the chest, but
I can't remember. Did his head change color in the show?
No, but it's very common for the character model in different comics and books and everything else to use a black head because the toy has a black head.
It looks better with a black head, that's for sure.
So I will admit my first take on the robot mode was probably a wee bit on the harsh side.
Okay, well you were burnt by Grimlock, to be fair.
Yeah, Dino mode I really, really don't like.
I mean, that is the toy. As we've said before, if I remember.
That is the toy with a bit of cartoon model in it. I've never liked the design of Slag's toy.
I mean, I think for the toy for the 80s, very early 80s for the Diaclone version when it came out, it's great. It's amazing.
For the time, it's just it's a design I've never taken to because it's too squished.
Sure, but, totally understand.
Could have done the show model, which is better proportioned.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact they put pupils in.
That's cute. It's a shame they're not coloured.
Yeah.
Or defined a bit more. So I didn't notice they were there until you mentioned. Then I looked and went, "Oh yeah, huh."
Yeah. I mean, it is in line with what Grimlock did, which is the hybridization of the designs. Although, in this case, they're definitely leaning more towards the toy, whereas Grimlock's kind of 50-50.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I don't like the posability in the legs. I think the dino legs are garbage.
I don't mind the front legs because they have girth to them. They don't do anything, but the back legs are they are G1 dinosaur. Dinobot back legs. They look thin. They look like an afterthought. I get why they're like that because they have to fill in the back of the leg, which is assuming what they do, they'll fold inside of the leg, so they have to be kind of thin-ish.
Yeah,
but they because they do that, they don't look great for the Triceratops mode.
Nope.
So.
I do not like his alt mode. So he's a 50-50 for me.
Okay.
I think the robot mode's decent. I think the engineering on this toy is not going to be crazy. Let's be honest. But I think the Dino mode is kind of garbage. And that's before you bring in the fact I'd much rather something completely redesigned and or an evergreen style approach to it or something like that.
Sure.
But just looking at this as it is, robot mode fine, Dino mode very ignorable.
Okay.
I don't really want him. Because also if I'm honest, Slag's not one of the Dinobots I really like that much. It's kind of like Grimlock Swoop, and I've always been amused by the fact that the Snarl never does anything.
Oh, that's not true, Mikey. There's one more.
Sludge? What's wrong with Sludge?
No, there's one more that you really like.
Dinobot?
He only has one figure of
him. Paddles! Well, that doesn't count because there's no god. And do you think they're going to do a studio series Paddles? No, because they're cowards.
Yeah, but if they do a
they
Sludge,
do studio series Paddles, I will give them anything they want for it.
I don't think if they did it, I could see it being Sludge retool, obviously, and then they go Generation Select. There you go.
Cool. Do that. If you do a Generation Select Paddles, I will pre-order it day one.
Wow. I'm not sure I believe you, but wow.
I will.
For the statement alone.
I will do it. Because Paddles is a joy.
It's a fun one.
Paddles does not deserve what happened to him.
Is that on Paddles' tombstone? Paddles didn't deserve this. Oh, poor Paddles. But yeah, that's Slag, that guy. One of the ones that was again revealed earlier on in the week, and I was like, oh, okay, we can talk about this before the rest of them and the official reveal happened. We had the man with the gun nipples himself. It's Wreckgar. Wreckgar is coming out. This is the first time we've had a Generation 1 Wreckgar, so I don't mind it. I actually saw this and went,
in all honesty,
oh,
I like
wow.
it.
Yeah.
Looks,
you know how
good.
both me and you were burnt out on G1. I think we said that before. Yes. But we haven't had a G1 Wreckgar. The last time we got was the last time we got one the Legends scale one, and then the one before that was the Generations one? I think it is.
Generations one, which was a nice idea that didn't work because materials really kicked it in the teeth.
That's the problem, because it was not a bad figure.
No, it was a nice design, but a bad execution on the technical level.
Yeah, we did get one Wreckgar after that, which was the Legends one, which was the motorbike one, which again no one wanted.
There was a Power of the Primes one, which was a retool of Groove, which just didn't. It was
That's right. That's what it was. Legends Groove. Yeah. So yeah, an honest to God G1 Wreckgar.
I like it, honestly. I think
it does look good.
They've got good proportions going on. It looks fairly positive. The transformation doesn't look fantastic, but
I mean, it's
okay.
I think it's difficult to make a bike transformer, and it was never going to be easy to make one that looked like Wreckgar that turned into a Junkion styled bike. Yeah, I heard that people got very sexually charged when they saw that Wreckgar could ride a Wreckgar.
Okay, we've got to say this. Why is that something notable?
I don't know. I would have thought that'd just be a thing at this point.
Voyager can ride a Voyager.
Yeah, because that's what happened in the movie. Fair enough if you were excited by that. I wasn't thrilled by it. I was just like,
I just don't
that's
get
a thing.
Surprised by it. It's kind of like Trax's alt mode, like Trax's jet mode. It's just like, yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah. Or Optimus Prime comes with a trailer. You expect it.
But no, I think like one thing in the transformation I'm kind of curious about is the way the pelvis works. Because it looks like it folds back in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
But no, I would honestly be interested in Wreckgar. Like, which I haven't been for a lot of the Studio Series 86 guys. Like, if I see him in Smith's, I could definitely consider picking him up. I think he looks good.
I think this is, again, the fact that we've had so few Wreckgars.
Yeah,
and this is so very different from the usual stuff that, it makes it interesting.
They haven't made the wrong choices like they had with Slug. Like,
yeah, I guess the only thing really to be aware of is this one gonna have the brittle plastic that the the Generations one had?
I'd be very surprised if it did, just because it had.
I was surprised I was surprised that one did. To be fair,
yeah, but this is a Voyager scale. It's got nothing going on in terms of thin plastic. Like, it looks solid to me. I mean, like that was going on with things like the really small bits and bad production. Like, it was also coming out at a time when materials were not great.
No, it was Generations, so it was still okay at that point.
Yeah, but what year is that? That was 2011. That was just about when they were about to be hit by the oil crash.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word for it then.
But no, I think he looks good.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far to say that there'll probably be a Junkion. It's like
Rummage.
Tool.
I want Rummage.
No, we're not going to get Rummage.
I want Rummage.
She wasn't in the 86 movie.
She was a bike. You can do it.
It'd be nice if they did. Make her Generation Select. That'd be all right.
Yeah, no, she's more interesting to do than Junkeep.
Which will be the one.
He's just not a really interesting design.
I mean, it needs to basically be Wreckgar, but only very slightly retooled. That's what it'd be. They'd probably redo the chest. They'd redo the head. That might be it. And that'd be okay, I suppose. But yeah. Not as interesting. But yeah, I'd say this is the first of the Studio Series where I'm like, oh, well, maybe. I mean, I never like the fact that the Studio Series have the bumped up price for seemingly no reason. Yep. Apart from it comes with a card background, which I'm like, I'd rather not have that, to be honest, but never mind. We also got the reveal of a Gnaw, Shocticon.
No.
The last time we got one was in Cyberverse Bumblebee, and the one before that was the one that everybody got, because it was the first time that we had a decent Gnaw in years. So, how do you think this looks for a deluxe, Mikey? I think this looks like a significant improvement. Granted, you can still see his head but it kind of works as a tongue, actually, in this case. Somewhat so. I think it is definitely an improve. Like, if you compare it to the Alicon, I like this more. Yeah, well, I still like the Alicon because I have the Alicon. Yeah. It does a lot better, actually hiding like its fucking hands. Yeah. I think the robot mode looks solid. It's got good proportions and it's got that little dumpy look you want, but I like the face sculpt a lot. And I think the Sharkticon mode is probably just the best attempt at the Sharkticon ever done. Yeah, I remember seeing like this side by side with like the other attempts, and this is better. Like if you remember the other one being good, it's like this is an improvement. If you put them next to each other, you can see the difference. Yeah,
you remember it being good, but it wasn't that good.
I think it's all right. It's okay for the size it is and for the time it came out. It's fine for what it is, you know. But this is an improvement. I'm not sure why in the box they've pushed him so far up that his head is pointing down into his chest. That's weird. Hopefully they'll, you know, sort that out because that doesn't look desperately appealing for a toy.
Well, no, he's contemplating. He's looking at his navel. He's navel gazing.
But he's not, because he's looking into the inside of his, you know, giant shark jaw, because he can't look at his navel.
He's imagining where his navel would be.
He's hoping for the best. No, I'm actually surprised that I saw 2 Studio Series figures that I was actually impressed by. I was like, wow, that's nice. 2 nice ones. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the Studio Series stuff, Mikey?
No, I'm good.
No, me too. Yeah, it was just nice to see some Transformers. I was like, oh, there's G1s, but not ones that I'm really angry to see, i.e. more Optimus Primes, Bumblebees, Megatrons, etc., etc. So that was good. I'll definitely take that. I'll definitely take more Generation 1 Season 3 stuff, as that's the stuff that's usually never touched.
Yeah.
For whatever
With
reason.
Key Character Blaster,
who will be a new mold.
Yeah,
right, Mikey, if we don't have any other Transformers news for this week, I will ask you.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Yeah, I wasn't listening. It's been like an hour since we talked about that.
Yeah. No, Andy, don't break the illusion.
I have to. I'm the editor. That's why I do.
So
what's our comic news?
This was very left field. So August solicitations came out, and there was the usual stuff. Shattered Glass got its solicitation, and the ongoing and whatnot. And then they had this book, which came out of nowhere, which is Transformers King Grimlock. So this is a 5-issue limited series written by, what's his name? I had it up here a minute ago. Steve Orlando, who has worked on some Wonder Woman and a bunch of other books. Like, he's quite prolific. Art by Agustin Padilla, who, again, fairly prolific. Did the, many years ago now, the Transformers Prime Dinobot stories.
Which ones were they? Was that Rage of the... No, that wasn't Rage of the Dinobots. Yeah,
Rage of the Dinobots. That was him.
Oh, right. And I remember everybody getting really happy with those ones.
Yeah, like, really, like, the art, like, had... I would say the art always had problems with, like, some proportions and stuff, but it was very stylized and they very good use of colors. And, like, black, like, simple silhouette backgrounds and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is a story... King Grimlock. It is... Dungeons and Dragons meets Grimlock.
What?
It is Dungeons and Dragons meet Grimlock. The solicitation. King Grimlock begins. Grimlock, the beloved powerhouse T-Rex with an attitude and one of the strongest Cybertronians in existence, finds himself magically transported to a world of fantastical beasts and strange powers. In this savage world where the strong rule with sword and iron, Grimlock finds a new opportunity to prove he's the strongest there is, but as Grimlock and the human barbarian Arco will learn, sometimes brute strength isn't enough. King Grimlock features the iconic Transformers character in a solo adventure through a world of sword and sorcery, unlike anything you've ever seen before. The amount of Conan jokes I've seen, like, going on, like, Conan, what is your mission, kind of thing. Grimlock sitting there, just like, the lamentations of their women. But, nice. So yeah, Grimlock, and it looks like it's using the evergreen design, which I think is the first time it's ever appeared in anything Bardo's.
The toys,
very limited toys.
Yeah.
Which I've got one somewhere. Yeah, so Grimlock's going to take on D&D, more or less. It's not actually D&D, but it's sort of like very classic sword and sorcery kind of thing. Covers have things like Grimlock in T-Rex mode taking on a sorceress, a barbarian, and a dwarf, which makes me think he's actually wandered into Golden Axe. He's up against some sort of, like, Cthulhian monster. He's sitting on a throne as like, I'm presuming Arco's your one with the cape. Yeah. I will say the Cyberverse, the evergreen design is a good choice because it's very draconic in some aspects. So
do you think that was the reason why it was chosen, or do you think, like, because they have not done anything with those evergreen designs?
No, those evergreen designs mean nothing bar the fact that Cyberverse takes some cues from them.
Some.
Wrong eye color, but hey ho. So yeah, I'm like I haven't read any Orlando's work. As always with a Transformers comic, I will go and read some of his work in the next few weeks and get an idea. And hopefully I'll try and get him on for an interview, because I always have to hound these poor people. But I'm very curious about this, if nothing else, because like this is weird. And I got to appreciate weird just on a genetic basis, you know?
Sure. It's different, I guess.
So, Andy, what do you think of the idea of Grimlock in, you know, a classic schlock fantasy story?
I wonder how it's going to range in terms of the Transformers crossover comics. Will it be one of the substantial ones, the interesting ones, or will it just be this is fine, you know? Which is sometimes how it goes. I hear the pony one was good. Is that right?
Yeah, I like the pony one.
Yeah. As long as it's kind of that fun, kind of schlocky action, I guess that's the most you can ask for. Really.
I want this to be like pure ham. Like, you can have some fun with it, and like, please have good writing. But I want this thing to be like, when I say Conan, I want like Conan-esque scenarios. Like, I want serpent men, I want dragons, I want nonsense.
Do you know what the problem is? The problem is it's D&D, and the only real experience I have with D&D is Vishojo, and that's not a really true good example of D&D, I guess.
Well,
right?
I have read a lot of sword and sorcery books.
Okay.
Over the years, I will say the Vishojo stuff is actually kind of closer than you might think, but to a lot of sword and sorcery, but like I like sword
hang
and
on,
sorcery.
you mean the just the general story rather than the interaction of the characters, right? Or do you mean the interaction with the characters?
I've read a few.
Oh my god. Official ones?
Like real books. But like if you've read books like I don't know, like you will, this is just directed at the world, but like the Magician series, like not like Game of Thrones kind of stuff. I'm talking like sword and sorcery, like dragons, knights, elves, the whole kit and caboodle.
Sure.
I want this to hit a lot of the tropes with that, but I wanted to like do that with like some good character writing. I also want an intelligent Grimlock. If you have to throw into me Grimlocks, do, but please don't go for the dumb innocent thing. And he's just like, if you're going to do a story about King Grimlock in the magical lands, go ham in it.
Which way do you think they'll honestly go, though?
I think me Grimlocks are definitely going to happen. I don't think he'll have normal speech.
No, definitely not.
I think it depends. If they're going for like a like action, sort of like I said, kind of Conan-y schlock tone, they'll probably go like intelligent Grimlock. If they're going with something tongue-in-cheek, they'll probably be more likely to go with simple Grimlock.
Yeah. I have a feeling they'd stick with simple Grimlock just because they can do more comedy with it, and it's kind of the thing, isn't it?
It depends. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, we all think of it as a thing, but it's not actually used that much because, like, animated G1...
Some of the comics, you kind of...
A couple of the comics, but, like, most comics go with, like, Warrior Barbarian Grimlock.
I think if it depends which one we're talking about. If we're talking about ongoing Transformer series, then yes. If we're talking about... I'm pretty sure each of the crossovers that's had Grimlock have been the dumb one. Like,
the crossovers and stuff, probably because they are very G1 based, are going with, like, simple Grimlock. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I really hope the Evergreen design is the one. Like, it's not just on the covers, so I like it's the one in the books, which has happened before. Because like I do like that Evergreen design a lot. Please release a toy of it, a proper one. Please, for fuck's sake. Like it's kind of like IDW, but made a bit more metal.
Oh, that's an interesting way to say it, yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in it. I'm honestly curious about what will come out of this. Like I said, I'll have to read the books to see if my interest remains like, oh, wow, good writer. Or I'm like, oh, no.
Pain,
pickle. But, yeah, I'm curious if nothing else. If nothing else, there's some good cover art. Very good cover art, actually.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Any other thoughts? Are we done?
I think we're done, Mikey.
Yeah, so that's the news.
Sweet. Then as ever, Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun, son?
I have beaten many children.
Wow.
Well, one child, but she keeps fighting back, so we have to establish dominance. She went for my knees today.
Why your knees?
She just went like, hello! And just like headbutted my knees.
To be fair, as you get older, they will become a weaker and weaker point on your body, so that makes sense.
I'm more worried about as she gets taller and keeps using the same strategy.
Oh, yes.
But my knees are fine, to be honest. But
For now.
For now.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy, you're younger than me.
Well, I'm just saying, it'll come for us all, you know?
Knees, they get us all in the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell that to people in their 50s who do our, Olympic runs.
I bet their knees still hurt, though. It's a deep down pain.
So, what did I do this week? Digimon related due to I really blame you for this, but I started playing Hacker's Memory again.
Oh, that's the second part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that better than the first part, would you say?
I like the story better.
Okay.
Gameplay and stuff is mostly the same. It's got a lot more Digimon in it, but the gameplay is relatively the same. But I like the story better.
Okay.
It's got more active side characters. Like, you spend more time with the side characters. It's not a sequel. It's a concurrent story. So it's like, while everything was going on with the detective agency and Noel, and everyone else, we were over here doing this shit.
I see.
So I'm doing that. Not much else game-wise. Started rereading the Transformers comics during the week.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. Did you mention that on From the Files, or did you mention that last week?
Something like that. So I've only read 1 or 2 so far. I'm not going to rush through it. I'm trying to see if I read it all. Like, some people always went, "Oh, if you read it as a bulk, it reads better," and we'll see. Basically, I won't know for a while. Just because I want to see, we're at issue 29 or 30 or whatever. It's a good point to see what, because people went on about it getting a lot better, and I'm curious if nothing else. Anime wise, did most of the usual. Still haven't watched VV from the last 2 weeks just because of time and emotional stuff, and VV is exhausting. For me, I love it, but it's emotionally draining.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I love that show. But it's oh god, it's so sad. So I watched, nice chipper example. I watched the 86. I caught up on the 86.
Has that got better? Because you were kind of iffy on that for a bit.
I was a little bit iffy. I like where it is now. Because they're past that exposition dump they did around episode 4 or so, I thought was really bad.
With the ghosts, yeah, because I watched episode 4.
And I was just maybe this could have been laid out more gently or naturally.
Yeah.
But they did another reveal, but it was a lot more natural.
Okay.
And I liked it. And also, I'm liking the dynamics between the characters, and I'm liking the twin perspective approach. So I don't think it's going to rock my world or anything, but I am overall pretty happy with it. Okay. Slime anime, watch another episode. That was just fun giggles. So
I think I've kind of given up with the slime anime, to be honest.
It's just I like the idea of just having something you just turn on, giggle for 20 minutes, and then leave. Don't think about.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Fantasy is continuing on as is, still very pretty. Ultimately, I think season 3 is going to end up being better than season 2. Season 1 is still the one I'd say you'd never really have to watch past.
Right.
Saw a crossover with Fate Grand Order yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you saw it was like a 5-minute thing or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah. It's a good puppet they use for Saber.
Yeah, no, it looked good.
Yeah.
What? I watch too much crap. I'm just checking what else was on, because I basically just these days it's Crunchyroll and Funimation are my main sources. So.
Wow.
And other places where they aren't airing the shows I'm interested in, but we don't talk about that in public. ReZero's dub, go away. I watched the next episode of How Not Summon a Demon Lord. Again, this was a good one because it's playing to the strengths of the show. This was a fairly standalone one, but it's got a lot of comedy in it, and it's just fun gags and stuff like that, so I was happy enough. Back Arrow is now in episode 20, and the last 3 or 4 episodes have been really strong. I don't know, I'm going to be curious to see what my final opinion of Back Arrow is, because it's got a lot of potential and a lot of problems. I don't think we're going to have a Darling in the Franxx situation here, but I think I'm very curious to see how this ends up. Also, called it in episode 1 without spoilers. That's all I'm going to say, but called in episode 1.
Okay.
Dinah Zenon episode 7 aired. I think it's my favorite episode of the show so far.
You mean 8? I think 8 went
8.
up, didn't it?
It was 7. No, it was 7 because. No, you're right. It's 8. It's 8 because
I thought
7.
it was 8.
Yeah, but I think it's my favorite one of the show so far.
It felt like something happened, though. It felt like this should have been episode 4
in a way. But it was like it introduced a few new things with the main characters. One of which is something they've been talking about for a while, and because of like drama and stuff they ignored. But it's had a lot of character work in this one that I liked. It sort of very briefly touched on Kiyomi, the old guy's, the Neats relationship with your one, and like showed like actually really showing like it wasn't exactly a good relationship back in the day, and like it probably did a lot of damage to him, even if he still felt himself like drawn to her, which also is really interesting because in the modern day she's all like likable, normal, like wife worker woman thing. Like there's nothing remarkable about her, but like in the what she was in the past. Kind of an interesting comparison.
She found a big bag of money and he freaked out.
Yeah, but like there's been this running theme of like she would drag him into shit that he shouldn't be involved in.
Yeah,
and kind of put some weight in him, which I like. I like what they're doing with him. We also had some stuff with the kaiju. Knight, I think, got really good work in this one.
Mm-hmm.
There was also some great like comedy stuff in this. Like, how did any of you know this much about kaiju? You're not kaiju. Awkward silence. Or like when he turns around and his sword pings off a ladder.
I thought that was quite a nice little gag.
That was lovely. Or like, do you have a way to find him? I do. Waiting for him to like secretly say, I've got some sort of super sense. We're going to look.
And we're going to walk around the town and look. It's like, oh, you're going to help me. Okay.
And I really liked his interactions with Yomogi. Just like explaining his perspective on the whole kaiju thing, which obviously is one he's got a unique one on. And also like new gimmick as well with the weapon form. But it was interesting to me because like he never gets aggressive or cruel or anything with him. He's very reasonable, and like he's telling him to fire, he's telling him to take the shot, but he's never like losing his temper.
He's not happy with Galma most of the time.
No, but I like that with Galma. Galma, he acts kind of like you might expect him to with everyone.
Yeah. With
Yomogi, he's like, with the rest, he's being like a lot more understanding.
Well, I'm wondering if that's because he used to be a kaiju eugenicist. I wonder if that's a reason for it, or if the theory bodes, and if he is a failed Akane kaiju.
Yeah,
Did you? I saw somebody mention on Twitter, but did you notice the thing on Galma's back is growing?
Yeah, it's spreading.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Because Trigger won't just let you have something. No. You have to go back and watch everything and look at every detail. Like, I am genuinely at some point going to go through TF Wiki and see if they are using Transformers again. But
are you telling me you weren't examining every single frame of our show? Every single frame every tiny detail?
So many references. I can't process it. It's not humanly possible. But no, I really like this episode. Interesting kaiju as well. And also like, Chiza is definitely getting a kaiju. Like she's getting fucking Rodan by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's got big wings. She's just like pulls out of her pocket and it's like, oh, it's got wings.
Also, like I didn't realize this. Do you know the kaiju seeds? They were in Gridman.
Yeah, I know. I completely forgot. I saw someone put... you might retweeted it with Akane holding a little bean.
She was holding a little bean, and I was just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because I was thinking, like, oh, it's going to be like... And a reason they can't control Grid Knight is because he's from a different origin. But...
Nope. He came from a seed too, or something.
Yep. Just like he had a really abusive relationship and had to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really like that episode. I think that's most of them. I'm sure I'm forgetting one or two. But like one thing I will say, this season is actually really good for me because there's plenty of stuff for me to watch. Like a lot of seasons, I'm watching 2 or 3 shows now. I've got like 5 or 6 on the go at any one time, which I'm enjoying. Like I said, I'm letting Godzilla Singular Point build up until I'll watch it all at once.
Let the science build.
Let the science build. But yeah. The only other thing of noteworthy is I watched the. So originally people thought it was the full thing, but it turns out it's a teaser. It's just a full teaser of HoloLive Alternative.
As soon as you said teaser, I was like, and then I was like, it has to be HoloLive.
Yeah.
Why am I owing? Of course it is.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, HoloLive Alternative is a project with animation that they've never really officially confirmed what it is, but it's sounding like it's a music video.
Yeah.
With accompanying fiction in different media. There's probably going to be a manga, and there might be some other stuff. I would say if you forget about whether you think the HoloLive thing is good, bad, cringy, dumb, fantastic, whatever. If you like animation, oh my god, watch that.
Like SNT, when I saw it, I don't think it's that mind-blowing, especially when you compare to a mobile game, it's mobile game TV advert animation, which is always very good. It's very high quality, but I don't think it did anything outstanding. Fate Grand Orders had ones as good as that before as well.
My response to that would be if you're someone who's watching a lot of anime, you've seen a lot of unremarkable animation lately.
That has to be on a budget if it's on TV.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm just thinking for every VV out there, there's Digimon. Or Dragon Ball Super. Or and our shows where they don't really have as much of an excuse as other ones.
Sure.
Whereas this is just a minute and a half of just really solid animation that got great shadow work, good action. The action was interesting choices for some of the action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a music video, I'm assuming the full thing is going to be normal people in the middle, relatively normal ones for the main bits, and then the choruses will be all action based.
That's how it usually goes, yeah. They usually have the slow bits, like you say, and then
I wouldn't exactly expect to see Suisse in the chorus unless it's they've given her a knife and everyone's running away.
I still think it looks weird to have action scenes with these characters because they you watch them on stream and they're like, no.
Like I said, no. I want someone to do a redub where they just put in quotes from the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just Pekara trying to drag the carrots up the hill going, Timmy.
If you were going to pick ones for action scenes, Miko, I could definitely see doing action scenes. I could see Korone doing action scenes.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Yeah. The ones that you wouldn't expect, Rushia, maybe not fighting anything, but at least running from something, screaming.
Yeah. No, Noel, Flair, and Shion kind of work just because of their gimmicks.
I think Mio kind of does. Not Fubuki, though.
Not
Coco either. I know Coco's a dragon, but no.
They did take a line with Coco to make it work. They didn't exactly go straight Coco.
No, they had to put her in a dragon form. But even then, I was I don't know.
It was very distracting that they gave the very, very big dragon, really, really big, very large dragon breasts.
Yeah, dragon boob.
Which are officially now the biggest, she's beaten the records. No one's beating that.
No, sorry, Noel.
Yeah, But I just thought I really liked it. It kind of reminded me of some of the Rage of Bahamut animation overall, not design wise, but in terms of just the visuals and something. And I looked up the name and I forgot it. The key animator was someone huge. People were going holy shit, how did you get him?
I bet they were a fan of HoloLive, probably.
Well, it's pretty
and
universal.
And then they were paid money.
yeah, money will do that. But no, I'm curious to see what the whole thing is like. I'm curious to see what the manga's like, just to see the fiction, because people have started mining this Gridman style.
Yeah, and
there's I'll give him this. Someone's clearly putting the thought into what's going on in the background. So yeah, and yes, Fubuki in a fight with a sword is not something I ever thought I'd see.
No wife, best friend.
Yeah, that should have been. That's what I'm saying. That you redub it and you have her screaming, "We are friend!" Or you just have Ayame going, "Yo, yo."
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So I can't edit properly. So someone do that. Yeah. So I said, I thought it was good quality animation, and I'm curious to see the whole thing.
When's it meant to be out, the full thing? Do you know?
No idea. It's hush, hush, hush.
Okay, fair play.
The other thing I did, I won't spend a lot of time on this, but Camp Cretaceous season 3 aired, so I watched that in a binge.
Yeah, I don't think if I remember, you can correct me. I don't think you were as hyped or as happy with it as some other people, because I think I saw a tweet saying people were saying this was the best season or the better season.
Yeah, right? So a lot of the early reviews and stuff, especially from like people like Jurassic Outpost, who like have a really close connection with a lot of stuff. They didn't love season 2, and they said this was really good, and they really liked it. From what I can tell, if you like season 2, you tend not to like season 3. If you like season 3, you tend not to like season 2.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Really liked season 2. Can you see where this is going?
No.
First 6 episodes, it's 10 episodes a season. First 6 episodes I think are pretty good, pretty solid. There's some fun, there's some goofiness, character work is fairly good. Last 4 episodes are not strong at all. The last 2 episodes feel like they're from a different season.
Oh.
And the new enemy, and it's not a spoiler because it's everywhere, the new hybrid, the Scorpius Rex, is basically the Indoraptor with a ugly face.
Oh, that's mean.
And and it's really like the Indominus works because you pull off like this gigantic Titanic thing that's also like fucking insane. And the Indoraptor at least works in the thing of like, okay, now it's up close and personal. And Scorpius is basically just big angry dinosaur, who they really overblow it, like, oh my god, it'll wipe out the ecosystem on the island. And like Rexy is really prominently absent until after the Scorpius is dealt with.
Oh,
like hilariously absent, and just like, oh no, what could stop this?
Maybe a T-Rex?
Shh, they're not on the island.
Okay.
We don't
have on a holiday.
she was out in a boat.
Yeah, she's taking a job overseas.
Because they have a fight scene between it and Blue. And Blue is holding her own.
Okay.
And she's a raptor.
Yeah.
So, you know.
T-Rex should be able to win then.
Yeah, maybe just barely. All like the character stuff in those last 4 episodes fell apart as well. They introduced this really forced plot about sacrificing people, and this really forced plot about one of the kids wanting to stay on the island.
That sounds like a bad decision.
Yeah, and it wasn't well written or convincing or anything, and then they just they wind it back as well at the end of it.
Oh, I want to stay on the island. No, I don't.
No, and then like they end with a cliffhanger for season 4, and it's a minor one. And I'm kind of really feeling like this would have been a good show to structure as three acts, 3 seasons. Because it has one big flaw for me is like it's the tail end of it that's bad.
Right.
Those first 6 episodes solid for and enjoyable, but the ending is bad, and you know my opinion of what happens when a show has a bad ending, no matter how good it starts out as.
Oh yes.
So for season 1. Weak opener, strong ending. So I have a fairly good opinion of season 1. I give it a 7. Season 2, I like overall. I enjoy it. I think it's really fun. I'd give that an 8. Very happy 8. Season 3, because it starts strong but ends badly, I'd honestly give it a 6.
Wow. Out of 10.
Out of 10. It is the weakest one of the thing, and I'm not super looking forward to season 4 now. Because there's a couple of points with some of the relationships they're going to pick up and probably deal with very quickly that I'm not super interested in them dealing with.
Right.
Also, it is 100% confirmed that Bumpy died in a fire in Fallen Kingdom because she's dead. She's super dead. So,
are you pleased about this, Mikey?
I mean, I don't mind what they did with Bumpy in season 2, which was make her grow up. Although, like, I'm sorry, how fast do these fucking things grow?
Well, it's genetically altered, so as fast as they have to.
The T-Rex is 30 years old, and apparently it's going to live longer. And how fast? If she grew up that fast, you'd be like bloody, like, Alexander. Just like, I'm 5. Yep.
Hooray!
I will live forever. No, it was a dumb conceit from the first thing, and also a weird bit where they try to humanize Wu, and I'm just like, dude, just make him be a cartoon villain. That's what's
He's
fun
meant
about
to be
him.
a villain.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't in the very first movie, but he was
a
forevermore.
plot device.
Yeah, well, he was just an explanation. He was exposition. That was it.
But they try to humanize him in this one a bit, and I'm just like, I don't care. Also, it ties in directly to Fallen Kingdom, which was a strange decision in my opinion. But yeah, overall, I don't think it was a great.
Wow.
Andy, what about you?
What have I been up to? Well, we did a comic podcast, which I will be editing, and it'll be going up on Patreon, and then it'll be coming up later on for the free show.
All the audio will be with you soon.
Hooray! The free version of last month's comics went up as well this week, so I was doing that. Like you, I watched Dyna Xenon. I'm up to episode 4, as I mentioned, on the 86, which I'm still kind of like, yeah, it's fine. I decided to just drop the Slime anime because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of easy nonsense, I suppose, and I just was like, I can live without it. I did a bit more painting here and there with skeletons and whatnot. The Soulblight Gravelords, who are the new vampires, came out from Warhammer. So I got the new book, and I got another box of skeletons as well. There should be some Blood Knights with them who are vampires on horses, but they were out of stock, so they'll be coming in later. I guess when they get them in stock, which I think is like next week or something. Has there been anything else? Oh, I got to go to see my friend Matt down in Durham for the first time in a while, so that was fun. We got to hang out and do some fun things. You know, walk around Durham and have lads chatting about men things, bits and bobs. It was a lot of fun. It's good to see him again. Has there been anything else? I don't think so. I think that's been the breadth of the week because, there's not a lot going on as usual because I've got to work all the time. I've been streaming as usual, and that's I'd say that's been it, Mr. Mikey. Nothing desperately exciting. Do you have any questions, Mikey?
What is life? But yes, I do have one. I'm just bringing it up now.
Alright.
Bring it up now. And stall for time, because I'm bringing it up now. And also clearing out a bunch of weird alerts.
Porn.
No, sadly no. Okay, so Andreas sent us another question. Hello, Moonbase 2. What do you think about the current state of toy reviews? Are they really reviews in the sense that the person presenting it is able to give a qualified opinion of how a piece stacks up compared to others, similar items of the same variety, etc., like a professional book reviewer? Or are they more opinionated product showcases that are more like unpaid advertisements? I could elaborate more, but I don't know if it'd appreciate it if I send a 2,000-word essay as a listener question. Speaking of 2,000 words, you sent a lot of words.
Oh my god. That's judgy, Mikey.
That's the rest of the email is for your reading pleasure. So, this is him talking about MP Star Saber and other aspects. So I'm not going, Andreas, if you don't mind, I am not going to read this one out because I haven't read this part of it yet, and it's a lot. If there's something in here I think it'll be fun to mention next week, I will mention it.
Cool.
But yeah. All I want is the Australian box from Masterpiece Star Saber because it made so many people angry because they made it IDW Star Saber. So if anyone has that, please send it to me. Anyway, thank you for letting me articulate my thoughts. I'm not on social media, so I don't know, blah, blah, blah. This lets me let my toy nerd out. So, Andreas, we are always happy to help you learn that we don't know what we're talking about. So, Andy, toy reviews. What do you think about toy reviews? Do you think they're, like I said, qualified opinions or just product showcases these days? I'm going to open very quickly. I think that, when we came into it, toy reviews were the thing.
No one knew how to do them or what you had to do for them. And it was just people just throwing out their random opinions online of the toy.
Yeah, and everyone was doing it.
Yes.
And also, we were all trying to copy, 2 or 3 people who'd managed to, make a living out of it?
For the most part. I think before then it was just people sitting in front of a camera talking about the toy, occasionally showing it. But that was the original style.
I remember the early CCTFW ones.
Yeah, they're still there, unfortunately. They're going to be up there forever just to shame myself, so, It shows how, I did progress as I went through, but, that's how it is. I definitely think the toy reviews are like movie reviews. There are people who have a lot more investment in actually reviewing the toy than they do, or overwhelmed by just their feelings about it. You know, sometimes there will be a toy that they just outright love, and even if the toy has problems, some people won't cover it. I'm always more in for the entertainment value, so I think Jobby the Hong is a great example of someone you can watch and be entertained by the toy review, even if it's a toy that I don't care about, which is most of the ones he reviews. I don't care about a lot of the... I have zero interest in a lot of the figures that he talks about, but he presents it in an interesting way that it amuses me, I would say.
Yeah, Jobby's an interesting one because his is very performative in many ways.
Yes.
And it's also very like analytical and opinion based.
Yes.
Whereas like Emgo, I'd say, is very much a show the toy reviewer.
And that's about it.
Yeah, PR as well. And like PR's been doing it for so long. I feel like they're sort of like, here's the toy, I like the toy, or like sometimes it'll be I don't like the toy, but it will really be a showcase.
Yeah.
Which works as well. Vangelis Chris is an interesting example because he tends not to give strong positive or strong negative views on toys as he's reviewing them, but he's
Will
very
give strong
analytical
positives
about
though.
them. Yes, he does do that, and he's very analytical.
Yeah.
So he's kind of an interesting kind of merge of the two, but I think it's one of those things where like opinion is really not like brought into an analysis as much anymore. And that's why I think Jobby stands out, because he puts a lot of work in giving opinions and then justifying them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I said, I think like a lot of the big reviewers are much more like, here's a toy, I like it or I don't.
Like you say, more of a showcase than anything else.
To use a like pure like opinion, it's not a... He's an interesting one because his is all about like, you watch Steve stuff because it's all about the performance.
Yeah, it's not about the review of the figure, I would say.
No, never. I've never watched a Steve toy review because I want to know if a figure was good or not.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't know, it's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think the problem is I don't watch a huge amount of toy reviews anymore.
Same here.
Myself, because for the most part there aren't any Transformers toys that I actively want to buy for the most part. So it's like, well, why would I look at reviews for them if I'm not interested in the current toys that are out at the moment, you know? So it's one of those things. Yeah, most of my stuff, I'm just looking at my list now. It's like, I think Jobby's really the only toy review I toy review in quotations that I watch anymore, to be honest.
I'll watch ones, but like I watch sometimes to see how the engineering works more than like opinions.
That's fair. I can see that. I can see the reason you do that.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. Shall I take us on to some stuff from Tentomon then, Mr. Mikey?
Please do.
All right. So I think this is going off of our comic talk. I remember Bushwhacker. He's a boss in the Punisher PS2 game. You rip off his gun arm, and blow him away with it. Spoilers. Jesus. For a PS2 game. Speaking of blowing away and the comic show, it's real easy to kill Rex, Mikey. Dramatic pause. On the second playthrough to see what changes.
Well, no. You can kill a Rex. That doesn't make you mean you should kill a Rex.
No, you shouldn't kill Rex.
You have made a mistake. Like, it's not really easy to do it. It's just really easy if you've got like, an emotional issue where you don't feel like feelings.
Joy. Yeah, you don't want to be happy with yourself. Yes, agreed.
Where you've made a great friend and your response is, and now I'm going to kill you because I want to see how fucked up the world gets.
It's like deciding not to have Tally as your romantic interest. You can choose the other people to be your romantic interest. You've just done the wrong thing.
Yeah, like I will accept Garrus if you happen to be female shepherd. She is the female shepherd equivalent of Tally. And
it's also risky. It's also risky to do Garrus because he can kill you through his semen.
Whereas you can kill Tally.
Yes. So just by breathing on her.
Yeah. I will also say, like, make Rex a dating option, you cowards. But
the 4 testicle thing would scare people.
I would date Rex in the game.
Oh my god.
I on one playthrough at least.
Okay.
Like, so that's one of the I would say, like, really, I'd rather a remake than a remaster.
Yeah, well, that wasn't going to happen. Apparently, it goes on even easier for us PS3 players as we got, in quotations, choose your own adventure comic. I remember hearing about that. That's right. Instead
I
of
played Mass Effect on PS3.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow. I know that it started off with that, but then they released Mass Effect 1, I remember.
That's right.
Because I did play it, and I only had a PS3.
Yeah. There you go. Instead of the first game, I guess until the trilogy pack came out. Also, a Swedish saying, as the Swedish saying about having to pick between Plague or something else goes, I'd rather have Mass Effect Andromeda 2 than them digging up Shepard's grave. I'd just rather not, in general.
I'd like to play the games again. I don't think any situation would ever want me to make an Andromeda 2.
No. Yeah. Not to end on a sour note, look up the moral choices for Army of Two, the 40th day. There's some some super dumb ones in there. I think my friend Chris probably played Army of Two. He got really into them, and I remember watching him play and be like, I'm all right. He asked if I wanted to play with him. I'm good. But I don't know what the moral choices were in that game. Again, probably I think one of them might have been to shoot elephants in a zoo, but I can't remember.
I mean, is there a reason you're shooting elephants?
You chose the moral path.
The moral path is just like, I need ivory.
Yes. Why? I don't know. Money.
I need to make a piano.
Money.
Piano.
Money. Do you have any other questions, Mike? Is it that
nope.
is all done?
That is us all done, sir.
Oh, no, I lied. We have one from Christoph as well over on the Facebook page. So let me scroll down to that. It doesn't have the whole thing. It just says, and if my nibbling is anything to go by, this is what kids want to watch on YouTube. And then he sends...
that sentence didn't work.
Nope.
If my nibbling is anything you want to go by, kids, stop.
It happens. And a bit split on that as it incorporates... it seems inappropriate, but also it fucks with a big business and then telling kids what they want, so whatevers. It's not an uncle problem.
Oh, this is something to do with my niece attacking me, isn't it?
Maybe. Oh, the animations, tanks killing each other. But they're like like if Thomas the Tank Engine was a tank instead of a train.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting.
That's something I'm going to have to go and look at.
Yeah, I'd say so. Right, well, that's our podcast done for the week, Mr. Mikey. Thanks for coming on by and chillaxing with me.
Indeed.
So until next week, everybody, where can people find you on the internet, Mr. Mikey, if you want to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and if you want, you can send us feedback on the moonbase2@gmail.com, or you can send it on Twitter and Facebook and Libsyn and everywhere else. And we are always happy to get some.
Yes, it's true, believe it or not.
What about you, Andy?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, YouTube as Scribble Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, so on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, one on patreon.com/Moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2, and you get it a week early, and you get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where we talk about non-transformery things in more detail, if I can say the word correctly. You can also find me on Twitch as CCTFW, where I play games from 11 o'clock in the evening UK time. And you can also go to the ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to get stuff that way as well. Yeah, so maybe we'll have news next week, Mikey, but I would imagine since we got a lot this week, well, a mild amount this week, expect not much next week, right? That's fair?
Yeah, no, I'd say that's good.
Cool. Well, until next week, everybody, thank you very much for coming on by, and we will see you suckers next time.
Bye-bye!